Imagine waking up on a Saturday morning. You shuffle your way into the kitchen, pour yourself a bowl of cereal, maybe some orange juice to go along with it. You sit down in front of the TV where you were watching a movie last night, and you turn it on, and there's another movie playing at 6:30 in the morning. And it's a black and white monster movie, and there's a little silhouette of theater seats on the bottom, and there appear to be little robots and a guy yelling back at the movie screen. And it's hilarious and weird. And what is this? Well, turns out it's Mystery Science Theater 3000, a sci-fi comedy show that met its heyday in the 90s but continues in popularity and really impact today. Whether you are a fan of science fiction, comedy, anything geekery, or you just love movies, Mystery Science Theater 3000 is an amazing show. So let's learn all about it. So what's going on with all of this? We have a movie that is inside a show, but the shows are like 90 minutes long, and there's robots and a guy in space, and you know what? I'll just let the theme song explain it to you.
In the not too distant future, next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joel, not too different from you or me. They work at Gizmonic Institute, just another face in a red jumpsuit. They did a good job cleaning up the place, but his boss didn't like him, so they shot him into space. Sending cheesy movies, the worst we can find. You'll have to sit and watch them all, then the monitor is mine. Now keep in mind, Joe can't control where the movies begin or end, because he used those special parts to make his robot friends. Robot will call Cabot. Hi, girl. Dumb servo. You're wondering how he eats and breathes and other science facts. Then repeat to yourself, it's just a show. I should really just relax. The Mystery Science Theater 3000.
So this is the premise of Mystery Science Theater 3000, something that started off as a local Minnesota show to become one of the biggest cult classic TV shows. Joel Hodgson created the premise for the show that premiered on KTMA TV in Minneapolis, Minnesota on November 24th, 1988. This auspicious start time intertwined Mystery Science Theater 3000's relationship with Thanksgiving Day with the Midwest flavor of its central writers. These first local KTMA episodes ran from 1988 to 1989 and created a devoted following of fans known as Misties or MSTs, who would send in fan mail, tape the episodes, and encourage each other to keep circulating the tapes after the initial run was done. And just like back in the 60s with Star Trek fanzines bringing it back from its early days of just having a season or so under its belt, so did these fans continue the popularity of the show. It got picked up by the Comedy Channel, now Comedy Central, and continued to show more of what it could offer. What they did was they took a selection of shows from about 1988 to 1993, so the KTMA episodes and the first seasons on the Comedy Channel, and they actually cut these into 60-minute long segment episodes. So these segment episodes were then repackaged and presented as the Mystery Science Theater Hour for syndication, along with their own host walking you through these choice segments. The move to a new channel further grew the show's viewership. so exposing millions of people to it for the first time, and with all of these reruns to back it up. At one point, Comedy Central decided to capitalize on the show's success by creating the Turkey Day Marathon. So every Thanksgiving, they would stream all day long episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So even if you couldn't be with your own family, you could cozy up next to your favorite bad movie watching robot antic family traveling in space and spend the day with them instead. When it first came on the air, the main man in space was Joel Robinson, played by the show's creator himself. So he creates Tom Servo and Crow T Robot to keep him company, and also a sort of embedded system robot to help maintain the higher functions of the ship, who can travel everywhere and keep track of them as well. Kevin Murphy, Trace Ballou, and Jim Allen voiced these three originally, as well as acted in parts throughout the beginning of the series. Joel's peaceful life, orbiting in space, collecting golf magazines, and building contraptions as he might, is frequently interrupted by the experiments of Dr. Forrester. He is a struggling mad scientist along with his assistant, and really his biggest thing going on is having this guy trapped in space. They send Joel and the bots films that bore, annoy, unnerve, disgust, and sometimes just test the boundaries of sanity in the viewer.
Hi. Are you the man from the insurance?
Nope.
You came last night.
No.
My mother doesn't like you.
I don't like your mother.
Why not?
Why not?
No, why not?
No, why not?
Why are you repeating what I say?
Tonight on
Why are you repeating
Crossfire.
what I say?
I'm not.
Well, I'm not.
You are.
Buzz off.
What?
What?
What did he say?
What'd you say?
Did you say something?
You say something?
Ah!
You're lying through your teeth.
You're lying through your teeth.
Buzz off, huh?
Buzz off.
Buzz off, kid!
Sprinkled in with some old public service announcements, educational films, ads, and all sorts of things from the mid-20th century's film basement. Dr. Forrester does change up his minions early on. Dr. Eckhart, played by J. Elvis Weinstein, exits his classic role to be replaced by the more foppish and seemingly immortal TV's Frank, who is really obsessed with stardom and his hair, and not so much with how much torture Dr. F is going to put him through. Other characters are also in the series, often plucked from the very films the boys are suffering through. Some people filling these skits include Mary Jo Pell, Bill Corbett, Paul Chaplin, and Bridget Jones Nelson. The format and the style of this show were really innovative. Joel created this idea of the Shadowrama, the little line silhouette of theater seats down at the bottom, so you could feel like you were in the theater with Joel and the bots. Also, the concept of riffing, talking to the movie, making fun of the movie, impersonating the characters, having these skits kind of coming in the meanwhile, interacting between the mad scientists and their captives.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Satellite of Love, in association with George Schlatter Productions, presents in the world premiere of their new line of Attack of the Eye Creature gags, the Rip Taylor Trio.
Whoa! Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having us. Oh, what a movie! Not like they say on Wayne's World. In the words of the immortal eye creature, an eye for an eye for an eye for an eye, because you see, they got so many eyes. Let's get going.
Say, I wonder who their favorite president is. I'm guessing Eisenhower, because they have. It begins with an I and a.
Oh, let's cut with the pattern and get out of the A material.
I thought we were doing the high material. Because he's got the letter. Kiss me.
Sister, don't cross me. It's the eye creature's Visine bottle, because you see, they got so many eyes, or you wouldn't understand.
The eye creature's contact lens case. Contact lens, because they have lots of. It's funny!
Got the mascara bottle. Yes. Let the mascara on. Come on, lots of lashes, girls. What are you laughing at?
Oh, sister. Oh.
Come on, it's funny. Come on, laugh.
The eye creatures' glasses, because you see they got so many eyes and they're large. Whoa!
How about the eye creature's sun visor? Holy mackerel, they got lots of eyes.
Eye chart, honey. Get out of the eye chart. She's got lots of eyes in the open. Oh, shut up.
Yes, no tongues, no.
No, please.
You want to get the eye creature mad?
No.
Do this. See, because they got so many eyes. You see, it's all part of the fun.
Oh, why don't you get a day job? The eye creature's eye gun collection bucket.
Right here.
Mucus drool bucket, because they have lots of eyes with buckets of drool in it.
It's
funny.
Carl Mulder's handkerchief. You see
it's
this?
not
His
even-
big nose and naked doesn't have anything to do with eye creatures.
Monogrammed. Whoa!
I lost you, didn't I? I lost you on that one.
Everybody will be appearing at the Tropicana with Debbie Reynolds. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Whoa!
These are all things that made the show unique and made it definitely not feel like you were just watching another bad movie by yourself. Other great features of this show include their original songs, their original parodies, and also how they make the most of their set. They have very intentionally cheap setting, very intentionally cheap props. They have a hex view screen, which is literally just a cutout with someone coming up behind it to simulate having someone come up on a very high-tech communication screen for them to talk to. So they really take all of the science out of sci-fi and replace it with paper mache and make you enjoy it all the while. After several seasons on Comedy Channel, the show eventually gets picked up by Sci-Fi in the 90s. We also see some more changes happening at this time with the cast of the show. So like I already mentioned, one of the initial evil henchmen exits and is replaced by TV's Frank. We also have Joel no longer being our main man in space. So at one point, he is able to get out of the satellite of love, only to be immediately replaced with a hapless temp employee, Mike Nelson.
Yeah, eggs! The confounded alien hell beast is laying her eggs? Or did we always have these?
No, we didn't always have giant alien. Okay, I've got a plan. We'll make a giant omelet, and we'll eat it before she sees us. Yes. It's our only chance.
Yes, brilliant! I'll make sure she's not watching.
And I'll work on the menu.
Okay, that's a good idea. Get pictures of the food and... Would you just hurry up,
This is gonna be
please?
so cute. I've always wanted a little breakfast place.
Bad news, Mike. She's not around, which means she could be anywhere. That means we have to eat fast! Fast!
Okay,
Give me
here's a
some of that
little
bad
bit
boy.
done for you. All right, Crow, we need you to get in here and eat an omelet.
Gotta eat fast!
Fast.
Well, hello. Do you have a table? How about right here? Thank you. Let's see. What do you have? The 20-egg cockadoodle omelet, the 40-egg omelet of Mattis Egg County, and the 60-egg Eggapalooza. Is the cockadoodle omelet enough for me, you think?
Quit screwing around. Eat that.
Well, I just may, although I see some wonderful waffles on here. Hey, Tom, what are you having today? Oh, that sounds great. Waiter, are you my waiter? Could you come back in just a tiny minute? I'm not quite ready. Oh, look, the story of the Eggapalooza. Grandma Smirker, loved
Quit
by
screwing
one
around
and
and
all.
eat that omelet.
That is a rather surly attitude, Mike. What if I were a restaurant critic? In fact, I am a restaurant critic. You didn't know that, did you, pal?
Okay, here you go. Oh, whoa.
This is gonna look
Sorry
really
about
good in
that.
my column.
Well, just eat that fast. We'll be right back. Eat.
Inattentive service and brutal assault with steaming eggs marked my visit last week to what was formerly one of my favorite breakfast places.
The bots eventually warm up to their new big brother-like co-captive and keep him company for seasons of adventures with Dr. F and Frank. A few seasons later, we start to have some transitions with the Mads. TV's Frank's immortality finally comes to an end when he is killed off for good, and Dr. F seeks solace in his mother, who comes and visits him. An evil scientist herself, she has a lot of judgment for her son, and this causes a lot of hilarity to ensue as we see him struggle to maintain his composure as evil scientist with his captives in space while his mommy's getting onto him. Dr. Forrester himself also eventually leaves the show to be replaced by his own mother, who, through some interdimensional time travel shenanigans, ends up being reborn as a younger version of herself, given a second chance at life. And she decides, instead of motherhood, we're going to focus on taking over the world. So she takes the captive away from her son and hitches it to her own vehicle as she takes now Mike Nelson and the bots on a whole new series of adventures with her through space and time. Along their jaunts in time and space, Dr. Pearl Forrester picks up some minions of her own. The first one is a hyper-intelligent primate a la Planet of the Apes who idolizes her as the lawgiver. And the other is a sarcastic, telekinetic alien who is so beyond puny human understanding that he has to carry around his own exposed brain in a bowl. Alas, all good things must come to an end. The original series ended in 1999 after a little while on the Sci-Fi Channel, with Dr. Pearl Forrester, Mike, and the bots all eventually finding their way out of orbit. But it wasn't going to be over forever. In 2017, Joel started a campaign to fund a continuation of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Kickstarter responded, the fans responded, and it was quickly funded. This all-new MST3K would be on Netflix, and it featured an all-new cast. We have Jonah Ray, who plays Jonah Heston, our new host aboard the Satellite of Love. We also have new voices for our main bots. Crow and Tom Servo are provided by comedians Hampton Yount and Baron Vaughn. We also have a new Mad, still in the line of Forresters, a Kinga Forrester, the daughter of Pearl, who is continuing her wrath and her bent to rule the world, while also making some cash and marketing money in there as well. And with a mad scientist, you need a minion, so Patton Oswalt steps in to play Max, or as he prefers to be known, TV's son of TV's Frank. As of now, they have an upcoming 14th season planned. While the pacing and production of the show were initially pretty different from the original series, a lot of fans really embraced the new format and are looking forward to new seasons. From its format to its writing, a simple guy with some bots in space left a major legacy that has somehow infiltrated so many gaps and spaces in pop culture these days. The concept of riffing is really something that took off a lot in online culture. The ability to make fun of movies, the concept of how we interact with media has all really been inspired by Mystery Science Theater 3000. You also see the style of their jokes, lots of references, in-jokes, classical allusions, things from mythology, things from history, things from really current pop culture, and things from classical pop culture of the mid-20th century, especially in the United States. The show also does the most with the least. Like I mentioned before, having these intentionally cheap sets and effects, both to mirror what they're showing you in the cheesy horror movies, and to show you that you can do all these things yourself. You can become part of the movie. You can be the characters. You can talk back to them. You can criticize the director, and you can still enjoy it all.
It was always inevitable. This way it may happen a little sooner, that's all.
Do you always have egg in your beard?
Johnny, you can't do it. He's your friend, Paul.
Paul is not Paul anymore.
He's Super Paul.
Kathy, he's not as you and I know him.
He's smart and funny.
Paul is gone.
What you see in his place is nothing we know. Nothing human.
God, I'm acting.
No!
Jesus, they're acting all over the place now.
And the actors begin abandoning the movie one by one.
Another way I see a lot of MST3K's legacy is in podcast form. So a lot of the way we are experiencing the riffing is by hearing them with the skits thrown in. So having just riffing podcasts, having podcasts that go along with major series on TV or major movie series, even having this sort of after show chat all kind of takes me back to this concept of talking back to the TV I learned while watching these episodes. Sometimes people get a little intimidated because there's a lot of episodes and they're 90 minutes long because that's the length of the film you're watching, usually with some shorts and skits and other things added in. So where do you even start? One of the best things about MST3K is how accessible it is. Type it into YouTube right now and you'll be able to watch full episodes annotated directly from the Shout Factory. You can also find them streaming on sites like Pluto. You can find them streaming on Twitch because they really want you to be able to experience it. The whole point is keep circulating the tapes, keep enjoying it, keep sharing it. And speaking of streaming marathons, the Shout Factory also got the rights back in 2013 to continue the annual Turkey Day tradition. So if you find yourself wanting some entertainment on Thanksgiving Day, you know exactly where to find it. I hope you enjoyed this beginner's guide to Mystery Science Theater 3000. If you'd be interested in hearing some of my favorite episodes, maybe a little top 5 list, let me know. If you've seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, let me know in the comments. What are some of your favorite episodes? How did you discover it? I was watching a Comedy Central one day, literally turned it on in the morning, just like I said, and I'm like, why is there a Godzilla movie on at 6 o'clock in the morning? So let me know how you discovered it, or maybe this video was your first taste. I'll see you in the next one.